All right, good Tuesday afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on your Central Valley Live. As always, I'm your host, Gabe Salazar. Well, we are live streaming across all of our digital platforms, including our app, website, and Facebook Live. So today we talk about a horrifying experience that strikes a chord especially to those who use those online selling platforms to sell their items. Now, Fresno police are looking for two men after they say a jewelry sale took a violent turn after a 21-year-old man was shot multiple times. That would happen at an apartment complex at Hughes and Dakota, and police say the victim had posted on social media that he was looking to sell his jewelry, and when he arrived at the meetup location, that's when police say he was approached by two people. Now, witnesses say they heard the victim say, "You don't have to do this," before he was shot multiple times in the upper and lower body. Obviously, just a terrifying situation to hear about, as a lot of us are aware of those online selling platforms such as Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, or Craigslist. But police say that there is a safer way to do so. And joining us now to discuss your options and to dive deeper into this horrific case is spokesman with the Fresno Police Department, Officer Felipe Uribe. Thank you for joining us here tonight, or this afternoon.
Hi, Gabe. Thank you for having us, and appreciate the window of opportunity to talk about this topic.
All right, officer, so give us the latest. Have the suspects been located, and do we have any word on the condition of the man who was shot?
So, unfortunately, the suspects have not been located or apprehended. I can tell you that the detectives have been working on this around the clock. They have not stopped. It saddens us when there's very little leads, but we know that out there that somebody saw something, and there's probably some surveillance out. So our detectives are out there trying to gather some facts, some information that will help us, that will lead us into the identification of these suspects. So right now, as it stands, you mentioned it, two males. It's all we know. Hopefully, we have something else or something further in the near future. The victim, unfortunately, too, is still in critical but stable condition, which is good news. But he was shot multiple times throughout his body, and the medical staff obviously is doing everything they can to keep him stable.
That's just a horrifying situation right here. So just a reminder to our viewers, if you have any questions that you want to ask Officer Uribe, feel free to leave a comment on our live stream, on our Facebook live stream on CBS 47. So Officer Uribe, do we know if the suspects were the buyers who were in contact with the victim at the time?
Well, these things we don't know because neither part or halves of this party, the victim is not in no condition to speak, and the suspects have not been apprehended. But we believe they were, based on their actions, right? They chose a meetup location, they waited for the victim to arrive, and when he arrived, it didn't take long before they made contact with him. So they were waiting on somebody. We don't believe that this was a random attack on the victim. They planned this out during their conversation online. So we believe they were the actual people he was supposed to meet up with.
All right. And are these types of crimes where someone was either met with a violent confrontation or injured during an online sale meetup common in the city of Fresno?
I wouldn't say that it's common in the city of Fresno. I would, however, say that it's becoming more common nationwide and worldwide, right? With access to social media and our social media platforms, obviously the last 2 years have also played into that, where people choose to do a lot more from online, right? From ordering your groceries to your food, buying stuff online, and now of course selling stuff online. And although this was common before COVID, I feel like it almost opened it up more, the opportunity to do so. But we see this nationwide, where especially the younger population does a lot of interaction and transactions like these on social media, and don't really think things through when it comes to meeting up with somebody late at night in some random apartment complex or in the parking lot to sell an item or to buy an item. So although we see it happen often, I wouldn't say that it's relatively related to Fresno. It's just something we're seeing more nationwide in the law enforcement community.
Yeah, and it's such a common way to just sell your items, right? So for those who do it, what are some of the tips you can give to those wanting to meet up with someone to make an online transaction, and how can we be sure to be safe?
It's a great question. And you know what? Here in the city of Fresno and with the Fresno Police Department, we've actually designated certain areas in our 5 policing districts where people can go and safely meet with somebody else who are they going to do a business transaction of some sort to feel safer, where there's cameras, where it's during daylight, where there may be a police car parked in front of the station, right? And just the mere presence of it may push away the wrong people. But it doesn't have to be done at a police station. And this applies to, again, not just Fresno, but nationwide, right? If it's too good to be true, the item you're selling or buying, then it's probably not worth it. That should be your first red flag. Obviously, expensive items like phones, jewelry, cars, it's some of the most common things we see where people become victims of crimes, right? They see a really cheap cell phone online, the latest and greatest, and it's a really affordable price. They're going to go for it. They're going to be the first ones to get their hands on it. Well, that should be the first red flag. But not to go off track here, pick areas that are well populated, well lit, and again, could be police stations, could be fire stations, could be maybe the outside of a busy bank, right, where you have security guards, where you have cameras all over. If have other people around, right? But do not do it at night. Do not do it in a private location where either the buyer or the seller has agreed to, right? Do it in a neutral location, in a public location, maybe a Starbucks or some coffee shop. And always, have an idea who you're talking to. Maybe read the reviews on the person that you're doing the interaction with. See what other sellers or buyers say. But again, bottom line is, don't do it at night. Don't do it in isolated private areas, and if have other people around who can witness this.
All right, some great advice there. And Officer Uribe, thank you so much for your time today.
Awesome. Thank you for having us. And again, we are here to help. If anybody has any questions regarding this topic or any other safety topics, they can reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram, send us messages, questions, and we'll be more happy to answer.
All right. Have a good day and take care. Our Officer Uribe there providing us with that update after an apparent jewelry sale ended up with a 21-year-old man unfortunately being shot in a Southwest Fresno apartment complex. So as we continue to follow this case, our reporter Karen Alvarez actually went out to the scene today. So Karen, thanks for joining us, and just describe the area. I know it was a little difficult to find people who saw what happened, but what did the neighborhood look like?
Yeah, no, so thanks, Gabe, for having me. I actually went to the area it's an apartment complex near Dakota and Hughes. Police weren't able to confirm the exact location, but upon arrival, I did speak to the property manager who confirmed to me that the apartment complex is Alder Heights in Southwest Fresno. Yeah. So, and just basically, even talking to police, I did talk to a spokesperson from the Fresno Police Department, and he basically describes it as a meetup gone bad, just wanting to tell the public that there are these zones that Sergeant Uribe talked about where people can go and do these safe exchanges of any kinds, just wanting to remind the public that these exist for those kinds of transactions.
Yeah, and we do have a comment here from Louis Vale asking, does Fresno Police have a spot to meet up with the seller at spots that Fresno Police recommends other than stores? So we heard Officer Uribe mentioning those safe exchange zones where those who want to meet up to complete an online sale can do so safely. So just list out those locations that we can find around the city of Fresno.
Yeah, so some of them are just northeast, or Cedar and Teague. Some of them in southeast, Cedar and and Butler, just to name a couple of other ones in Central, Manchester Center. And basically, talking to the spokesperson that I spoke to from Fresno PD, he says that a lot of them are located at these police substations. And I actually went to one of them, and they're very heavily video surveillance, so where you get a sense of these, if you're making any transactions of these types, you do get a sense of feeling safe knowing that there is surveillance video if anything goes out of hand unplanned.
Yeah, and I personally use it myself, and it is a really convenient way to get those online sales and to meet up with either the buyer or seller, right? So, and we're going to be hearing more from you tonight, so what can we expect in your update later tonight?
Yeah, we can just do an update on the latest information regarding this investigation, and just more on what these specific locations, these safe exchange zones are located, and basically just Fresno PD wanting to tell the public that these are out there. These are great resources for the public to take advantage of.
Our great information there, and I appreciate the update and your time. Karen, thanks again, and looking forward to your report tonight. Take care. All right, so before we let you go, let's take a quick weather check just to see what's on tap tonight and for the rest of the week. So we had a pretty wet start to today. Soggy roads across the Central Valley, showers moving east of Fresno area to the foothills. Temperatures ranging anywhere from 50 degrees to a high of 63 degrees today. But as we approach the second half of the week and into Veterans Day, we can expect to wake up with patchy fog throughout the valley. So just a reminder here to be extra careful when you're making your morning commute. And I'll leave you with this beautiful shot of the valley. And until next time, I'm Gabe Salazar. Have a great day and take care.